Hi there, it's Sam from poodles.co.uk. Thank you very much for joining me today. Today's project is this one. It is a lovely, fun, watercolour, splashy, wet, messy, beautiful card. I shared this on my blog recently, and I don't normally do cards on video, mostly because they're cards and I like to do 3D projects. But so many people said, oh, how did you do that? Was it like this? Was it like that? Was it with brushos? Was it with, which are new, coming out 3rd of January? Was it with the brushos? Was it with aqua painters? Was it with something else? Well, no, it was with Reinkers, but blobbed. We like the blob. So I'm going to show you how to make a variation of this card. I'm going to use the same stamp set, which is Birthday Blossoms. Love it. Just love this set. And I'm going to use different colour Reinkers for mine. I've got Tempting Turquoise, Wisteria Wonder, and then this is Pool Party, missing its bit off the top. I want to show you how to make it. Right, so first things first, we need to heat emboss. Now, I've got all my card layers already done. That's my card blank, that's my mat, and then my layer is over here to go over the top, all measured up. My card blank is half a sheet of cardstock, well, it's a sheet of cardstock cut in half and scored in half. That layer is, in my case, because I work in Metricon cards, 1/2 centimetre shorter and narrower. So's that one. If you work in Imperial, make it 1/4 inch shorter and narrower, and that one. And then you'll have perfect layers all the way round. So I've got this. And I need my embossing buddy. Where's that gone? There it is. So, oh, I've got ink on there. Oh well, we'll cover it up. Embossing buddy all over. Get my Birthday Blossoms out. You can see it's a favoured one. It's look at the colour of that compared to the rest. Okay, a nice big block. And then I've got Versamark. Now, I actually keep 2 Versamark ink pads. I have one that I use when I'm using coloured stuff, and I use a clear one for when, or rather when I'm going to use clear. I use the dirty one for clear powder. Oh, that's very sticky, isn't it? Let's just get that stuck back on there again. Why does that not want to stick? I don't know. I'm breathing on it in an attempt to get it to stick. Oh, stick! I think it's because my Versamark has been face down for such a long time. It's got super sticky. But yes, I have 2 Versamark ink pads. One clear for when I'm using, or one clean for when I'm using clear embossing powder, and that grubby one is for when I'm using dark embossing powders. So, on there and on there. So, you probably can't see that at all. No, you'll have to trust me that it's there. Clear powder. I'm going to have to make sure I don't get my fingers on it. I can't see. I think that's all covered. Yep, that's all covered. There you go, you can see it there. When you're using embossing powder, do not flick so hard that you flick all the powder off the Versamark. You just want to do a gentle tap. Gentle tap is all it needs. Right, I'm going to bring my heat gun in now. So if you've got your volume up high, turn it down for a second. Okay. It lives over the other side of my desk, so I'm at full stretch right now. Wait for it to warm up. And then I really hope you're going to be able to see this, but it's all powdery at the moment, and it will suddenly go clear and glossy. I'm not sure how well you're seeing that. Can you see that? No. I'm going to burn my thumbs in a minute. Right, can you see that? sort of see it. Okay, so that's raised very slightly. I can feel it under my fingers. I just want to give it 1 second to dry off. And then I'm going to come and do this technique. I don't know if I've developed it. I probably haven't. I probably inadvertently watched somebody else or something like that. But I've had a play, basically. So what I've got is I've got one of our spritzers with water in it. I've got an aqua painter. I've got my 3 ink refills. And tissue. Tissue always works well on hand. So let's get my Reinkers ready. And we're going to have some fun. And the first thing I want to do is spray this cardstock. Now what's going to happen is it's going to go into that shape, which is actually what I want it to do. If I give that a second, I don't know how well you're seeing, it's beginning to bow. Can you see that? So I want it to do that. I want it to start moving about because that's how I'm going to play. A bit more water on there. And then start bringing in your inks and just put blobs. And I'll have a bit of that one. Oh, there goes my phone. And I'm aiming to get this over the stamped image. Oh, that's quite a runny one. And it's just blending. So with my, oh look at that. Oh, I love this. So I'm going to bring in my aqua painter and drip. And you do get very mucky and very messy with this. And spritz and start moving it about. Oh, how much fun is this? You don't have to cover the whole piece of card, but do make sure that you're covering your stamped and embossed part. And oh look, should we just cover the whole piece of card because that's what's inadvertently happened. And then you need to come in over where the stamped part was with your tissue and pick up the colour. I maybe didn't leave that to dry quite enough because it's gone underneath the heat embossing there on that one. That is so much fun. I'm such a big kid. I'm also making a mess and I don't do mess making. Dear me. My team will tell you that. Sam does not make a mess. Let's get these back on here because I want a dry sheet of paper and I need to move these out of the way before I do that. So, just pick that bit up before it goes everywhere. So I'm going to grab that. Keep hold of my grid paper and shift it out the way. And then you come back in with your heat tool. And it will dry. We like the dry. And so obviously it's now curling in the wrong direction as opposed to the right direction. Also, let's move the extension cord a little bit closer. And this is the most messy fun I've had in my 40s, I think. As a crafter, I'm not a messy crafter. I like to be very tidy and very neat. I don't do the messy thing. But I was just fiddling around and I had some fun. And I thought, let's see what will happen. And the more you dry it, actually the flatter it will get, which is what you want it to be. And it does dry quite quickly. So that, yeah, it's dry. Look, let's just get rid of another piece of paper. I know there's all these people who are screaming, look at that, she could get loads more out of that paper. No, I couldn't. Okay, so one of the reasons I've got this extra layer is so that I can stick this to this, and then that will stick to the card blank. Because it will try and bow. As you can see, this one isn't buckling and bowing at all. That's a very different look to this one that I've just done. I'm going to blame that Tempting Turquoise. That was a very runny ink, wasn't it? You can see I'm liberally applying adhesive. And I would also suggest coming in with a bone folder just to make sure it's A, very flat, and B, well stuck. Fantastic. More fast fuse. This is not a job for snail. It needs more oomph than that. And then just a bit of cardstock to go over the top. To stamp a sentiment on. Let me find something. There we go. Celebrate you, or happy birthday. Have a beautiful birthday. I like that one. Have a beautiful birthday. So how big is that? I'm measuring it on my grid paper. So that is, I'm going to make that 3 by 1.5 inches. So 1.5 inches I'm cutting down here, so about 7.5 by 4 centimetres roughly. If I'd had more showing, I'd have gone with another piece of watercolour paper, but because I haven't, because it's all well and truly covered up, I'm quite happy to use Whisper White. And then Tempting Turquoise, that's the colour I've got in the background. Just check I've got it the right way up. I just headbutted the camera. Quite possibly. Oh, I could take that down a little bit. Let's trim that down a bit more. And then linen thread, and what I'm going to do is make a triple layer. So I want 3 lengths of it. Which is about that. I'm going to run my nails down it to straighten it all, and then I can tie a bow. I'm going to try and tie a bow. I can generally tie bows if they're not attached to things. It's when they are stuck around a box or a bag that I have trouble and come unstuck. Got a kink in that bit. There we go. Mini glue dot on the back. So let's get this lifted up first. So this on the card. That was a paper piercer straight on the floor, thankfully not my thigh. What did I do with that? Oh, that was the paper piercer. Oh, what did I do with the paper piercer? It's just rolled off the desk onto my leg. So glue dot there, roll it up a little bit into the centre of the bow, off to one side, and card made. And every single one will be different. Like I say, same technique, but look how different that is. That one just tracked in that direction, this one went everywhere. But I love it with the heat embossing. Do leave it to dry a little bit longer. As you can see, it's gone slightly under the embossing there, whereas absolutely fine on this one. I left it to dry longer. But such a clever technique, and I had a lot of fun. Oh, and that's a long video. This is why I don't do card videos, too long. Anyway, I hope you stayed with me right to the end. Thank you ever so much for joining me, and I'll speak to you very soon. Bye.